Welcome back to the channel. We have officially begun our 2025 Christmas trip. And we're starting in a place where we ended our 2022 Christmas trip.
We are in Yemassee, South Carolina at Oaks Point South Campground. This is another 1,000 trails. We're getting one last 1,000 trails campground in for the year.
That is correct. We stayed here on our way home as an overnight a couple years, I guess it'd be 3 years ago now, when we had our Jayco Eagle. This is the actual campground we were staying at when we actually had the slide out make the loud popping braking sound on us. We didn't realize that the slide out had broke at that point, but we quickly found that out when we got home and we went to go on our next camping trip to Cedar Key. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know the whole ordeal we went through with that whole process of trying to get just a slide out motor replaced on that. It took like 6 months and it was just it was a nightmare. But this is a nice little 1,000 trails campground. I like the fact that it's kind of woody, but the sites are a little tight in here with some of the trees. As I'll show you after a while, we're going to have a fun time getting out of our site. I may have to back out of our site because there is a tree on the driver's side, as you can see right here, that is literally going to prevent me from making my left-hand turn. Not a very large campground, but it's going to serve us well the next few days. We got in kind of late last night, and it was kind of nice. We just pulled in here, and they literally had our check-in packet right there in that little kiosk thing. They even texted us before we even started off on our journey saying what site number we were going to be in and everything. But we're going to go out, we're going to do a little exploring, see what we can find for you guys, see what's kind of cool in this area. I know one thing I want to check out. We are close to where all the Murdaugh murder and everything happened. That if you've watched that whole thing unfold and the whole Netflix series, that we are going to check that out while we're here.
So we had everything packed and ready to go for Tuesday morning, and I did not start out my trip the way that I had planned, or any of us had planned. I've been dealing with some stomach issues. I know back in the summer I'd mentioned that I was having acid reflux issues, and that's pretty much under control now. I am seeing a GI doctor for that. They did notice I had a CAT scan done on it, my stomach area and pelvic region. They did see a little bit of something small, soft tissue, not really a mass, but they couldn't really tell what it is. So I'm going to have to go back and have another CAT scan done in January. But the reflux is pretty much under control. But now I'm dealing with major constipation, and I've kind of had constipation on and off all my life, but it's really been bad lately. And Saturday night, not only did I have constipation issues, but I was also dealing with nausea. So I was up all night Saturday night, and Sunday was fine. Monday kind of started in again, and I was so constipated. So after doing some research, I learned that you can drink the magnesium citrate, which normally people take before they do a colonoscopy, to clean you out, and that did the trick. I did the whole bottle yesterday, and I was up pretty much throughout the night. Today I'm still going, but I know some of you are thinking TMI right now, but I'm just being honest. And but luckily, everything I think is going to be okay. I'm going to be getting onto a new routine of making sure I get enough fiber, enough water, all of the things that you need to keep your digestive system active. So it's so funny because we are going to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania on this trip. And the last time we were there, well, the only time we've been there, I had an ER visit. We had a little trip to the ER, didn't know what was wrong with me. Long story short, I had constipation, major constipation. Video here for you to check out if you want to see that. And here we are going again, so let's just hope I don't have a repeat of last time. I don't think so, though. I think I've got a pretty much grasp on it now, so hopefully, fingers crossed, prayers, that I'll be okay on this trip.
And that is for sure. We do not want a deja vu repeat of 2021. But on another note, we have really gotten our good out of our 1,000 Trails membership this year. So I basically kept track this year of how much if we would have actually had to pay for all these nights individually without a membership. And we have definitely saved probably more than $3,500 this year. So being retired and being able to use our Thousand Trails membership a lot more definitely has paid for itself. And actually we did a little camping trip to Riverside in Arcadia last week before we headed out on this trip. And I gotta say, that is a great campground. We really enjoy that campground. We really enjoyed riding our bikes around there. A couple times we did it at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, thanks to somebody over here.
Not naming any names, but it was this chick.
But we do love that campground, and if you get a chance to stay there, I'll show you here just as I'm talking a little bit of some of the campsites. It's a massive, massive campground. We counted over 550 sites in there, so huge campground. And honestly, it's like one of the nicer Thousand Trails we've stayed at for sure. So if you're going to be in the Arcadia area or down around Fort Myers and kind of close to that area, that's a great Thousand Trails campground to check out. Right now we got to find a grocery store right here where we're at in Embassy, South Carolina. It looks like we're kind of far away from everything, so I probably should put the camera down at this point, pull up my app and find out where we can go for a grocery store. So we just got finished shopping at Piggly Wiggly, and I don't even know what town we were in.
I don't either.
To be honest.
Very small.
All I know is it was about a 15-minute drive from the campground where we're staying at, about 10 miles back south on I-95. So we were getting ready to get our groceries, head back.
And so our plans were to meet up with some friends for dinner, the Bristols that we met through the Stevensons. But I started feeling very weak when we were in Piggly Wiggly, walking around shopping. Just started feeling very lethargic. I think I was really dehydrated, which, I mean, I've been trying to drink a lot of electrolytes and water, but I really felt like I needed something more, like a Pedialyte. So Chuck stopped at Walgreens and went and got me a couple bottles of Pedialyte, and I'm downing one now. So hopefully this will give me some energy and I'll start feeling a little bit better. So
since we're really in no hurry now to obviously get back to the camper, I thought rather than go back to the interstate, let's take the non-highway trip back to the campground, which is 5 minutes longer, but hey, we've never been in this part of the country, so we're going to do a little exploring on our way back. But we are right next to the interstate so far.
Running parallel.
Yeah, we're just, hi guys, over there. You guys are going a little faster than we are going.
Oh my gosh.
But hey, sometimes we just like to take the slow lane and the slow road. So I got to tell you, we recently bought an air fryer at Sam's Club at home. It was like a pretty good deal. It had like 2 separate little pull-out trays, so you could cook 2 different things at once. And we have been loving that so much that I told Allie I really would like to get a smaller version of an air fryer like that for the RV. We don't have a ton of counter space in this RV, but it has worked out great so far on this trip. I mean, this is only our second night here, but I've already cooked 2 hamburgers. I've cooked some bacon. Tonight I'm going to cook chicken wings, and I'll show you how good those turn out when they're done. But loving this little thing. So with these things like these air fryers and our coffee makers and our everything, it just makes this RV feel like more like home, and that's not a bad thing. We do love camping, but we also love the creature comforts of home, and being able to cook and have a good meal and save some money on the road. Well, that's going to be the goal for this trip, because this is a long trip and we don't need to be eating out like we did every night when we were in the Keys. That is for sure.
So we just started a new hobby, and I told Chuck that I wanted to start making some candles and fire starters. So this is one of our examples of our fire starter, and I ordered new stickers that has our name and logo on it, so that when we meet new people and they buy a fire starter, they can subscribe to our channel, hopefully. I told Chuck that I just hate having to use lighter fluid or finding a lot of kindling, or constantly having to keep the fire going. And so we came up with this really cool idea of making a fire starter, and all you have to do is light the wrapper and put it sandwiched between 2 logs, and then you put 2 of the logs on top, kind of like the Lincoln log, and that's it. You don't have to use any kind of lighter fluid. You don't need to use a blower, nothing. Like, it will just catch on and it stays lit, and then your fire is good for the night, and you just have to keep adding logs to keep it going as long as you want. So this is one design we made where we started collecting pine cones and making them this way. We also have another one. The nice thing about this is filled with puzzle pieces. So the cardboard, that's really good at starting a fire. And we've lit all of these, so we know that they definitely work really well. And then the third example, which this has got Christmas. But whenever we go camping and hiking, I'm always looking for little sticks and acorns and different things to make with. So we're always using leaves and nature things that have already fallen to use as the fire starter. And what we like about having our candles is that we can repurpose that old wax into making the fire starters. And the fun thing about these is that they are one of a kind. So there's no specific design. Whatever I make for that batch, I make for that batch. We are selling these. And the fun thing about these repurposed candles is they have scents. So when you first light it, you can smell it in the campfire. It smells so good. But once it gets lit and gets going, you don't smell it anymore. But that initial lighting smells really good. We are going to start selling these. We're going to put out a table at the campground, and we're going to sell them for, this would be $3, this would be $5, and this would be $8. So if you see us camping, stop by our campsite, and we'll always have plenty on hand to sell.
Well, guess what? Allie's feeling better this morning. Guess who's not? This guy. I swear, you cannot make this stuff up. It's like I get over one sickness to another sickness. Now it's in my stomach. I know what Allie was dealing with now, that's for sure. But gonna try to push through, and we're gonna try to go out and do a little exploring today. It's a rainy day here in South Carolina. This is our next to last day here at the Oaks at Point South. So we thought we would do some exploring around the area. We might even make it over to Hilton Head. I've never been to Hilton Head. Have you been to Hilton Head?
Yes. I believe one time.
So it's
back in college days.
Yeah, so it's like an hour drive from the campground, and you know we don't mind. If you've been following our channel for any length of time, you probably know that we don't mind driving when we're out, RVing. We don't mind driving in the Bronco for an hour away or so to see certain things. So that's going to be the plan. But first, I want to try to go by and see where the Murdaugh murders happened. I'm just curious because I watched that whole series on Netflix.
So my brother was following it pretty closely as well because he lives here in South Carolina. He lives in Lexington, and he was pretty interested in the whole documentary and the series about it. So I'm sure he'll find this interesting.
Yeah, he actually was the one who told us that where we're camping, we're not going to be far from there. So
that's right.
It's what gave us the idea to go check it out.
Yep.
So on our way to find the Murdaugh murder locations, we've actually drove through the town of Yamasee. That's the way Siri pronounces it. So I'm going to say maybe that's closer than Yamasee, what we're saying. I'm not sure. But cool little old town. Not much here, but definitely you can tell there was some history here at one point. Well, there's a little bit more to the town than I thought. Allie's like, look at the cute snowflakes and snowballs. So
Christmas balls, you mean?
Christmas balls, yeah, they've decorated for Christmas. Well, we are 1.2 miles away from where the Murdaugh Ranch was. Allie did a little Googling and said that it is sold. It no longer belongs to the Murdaugh family. So we're on Moselle Road. I remember that from the documentary series. I'm sure we won't see anything from here, but we're here. It's been a very relaxing country drive, for sure. Well, this is our last full day here in South Carolina, staying at the Oaks at Point South, and wow, yesterday we got done tooling around, checking out where the Murdaugh, family thing was, and we actually were going to head into Hilton Head, and we seen the campground as we were coming back, and I was like, I think I want to pull in there and get some lunch. We never left the RV after that because I got sick. I got what she had.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, when we left the house, she was really feeling pretty rough. And she was like, man, I feel like if I'm not better tomorrow, I need to go to the emergency room. I thought she might have been a little bit dramatic.
I wasn't lying.
No, she wasn't lying, because last night I went to bed at 8 o'clock. And between 8 o'clock and 3:30, I was having such stomach pain that I was literally thinking, man, I need to go to the emergency room. I need something for this pain. So luckily about 3:30 in the morning, it kind of eased up. So now we're going to try to get out and do what we wanted to do yesterday by going and seeing Hilton Head and going into Savannah for a little bit. Whew, this has been a trip. You got the name for the video.
Sick in South Carolina.
I like it. We are sick in South
Sad.
Carolina.
Very sad.
Not the great way to start a trip, that's for sure.
No. So here we are, planning on going to Hilton Head today.
Just about got there.
And just about got there. I'm literally like a mile away. And I'm sitting looking at Facebook, and all of a sudden I noticed this rescue really close to where we are camping at. And this dog pops up on the screen that looks almost exactly like Nikki, our sweet Nikki. A little bit of white on her chest and a little bit of white on her chin. She's a flat coat retriever. She's about a year old, 50 pounds. Very close to what Nikki was when we got her. She was smaller, Nikki was, but Nikki was about 45 pounds. And it says all these wonderful things about her and sound just like our Nikki. And we have made the decision to turn around and go back. We're going to go see if we can meet her. Don't know what's going to happen, if she's going to be ours or if it's just, that first stage of us, our hearts are getting softer and wanting to find another pet. But we're doing it. We're going to go back and check her out and see what happens. Put it in God's hands. Well, we went to go check out the pup, and it just wasn't a right fit for us. So we are now heading to Savannah. We just arrived, actually. The one thing, though, it does tell us about the dog situation is that we're both now ready for a new baby when the right one comes along. This was just not the right fit for us. She was super sweet and a lot of energy, though, and I think she'll be perfect for that young family that wants to go out and play frisbee or throw a ball or something like that. We're just a little too old for that. But she was adorable.
Well, if nothing else, being sick on this trip and everything, at least we got to see Savannah again, and actually did some shopping and Christmas shopping, got that done. And I just cannot believe people are walking around here with t-shirts and shorts on. It's 64 degrees, but our Florida blood is cold.
Yeah. It's cold. I'm wearing my heavy coat. Luckily, it was comfortable with my jacket. I was still a little chilly, though.
Yeah.
I should have had something over my head.
So we're going to drive around, see if we can see any Christmas lights here. We were just talking. I don't remember seeing Christmas lights in Savannah last year when we were here for New Year's, but we definitely saw Christmas lights last year in St. Augustine.
And if you want to check out that video.
That was something else, yes.
Something else.
We'll link that video up above. So, but we had fun walking around and doing some shopping and getting a little bit of dinner, so to speak. We had pretzel bites. We had planned on eating at the Pirate House. Was that the Pirate House again?
The Pirate or Pilot?
It's either the Pirate or the Pilot. We ate there last year. But yeah.
But they had really good food there. And they had a hot toddy. I think it was a hot cider. And I really wanted it this time, but unfortunately, this tummy can't handle anything like that right now.
No, we're taking it easy on the stomach, and obviously no drinking, no. I mean, for the past 2 days, I've had half a piece of toast, one piece of toast today, piece of a banana, some rice, and we had pretzel bites. So the pretzel bites were the most rich thing I've eaten in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to drive around.
Hopefully we can see some lights, because right now I don't see anything.
Well, we got an hour drive back to the campground, so I'm sure we'll see some Christmas lights somewhere along the line.
It is Friday the 20th, and that's going to wrap up this trip here in South Carolina, in Yemassee, South Carolina. I'd like to say we had a wonderful time here, but unfortunately, having the stomach flu on our first leg of the trip did not make it this so. But we are now on the way to North Carolina, we're going to be staying at our first Harvest Host. We're actually very excited about that. And this is going to be a distillery. So we already looked online and we already looked at some options of things we want to buy when we're there. We haven't had any alcohol in probably about a week now because of our stomach, trying to let it settle and everything. And we started this whole countdown 12 days to Christmas of moonshine.
Got 1 day in.
1 day in, we haven't had any since. So we'll have to catch up. But we both are feeling great today. Our stomachs are finally back to normal. Maybe Chuck has got a little bit of an issue, but my system is perfect. I literally feel 100% normal today, so that's fantastic. So stay tuned to next week for our first Harvest Host Day. And if you're new here, we are Allichuck Adventures. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can follow us on our adventures. Drop us a like and share this video. It really helps us out. All right, thanks guys. Bye.